Working with blue light blockers and chronic eye strain, I'm back for Volume 3 of my Nintendo Rare, Unique, and Hidden Gems. Yes, that's right. I've been playing in my downtime and my time set aside for responsibilities just so that I can bring you 5 more gems that deserve notice to add to your collection. There will be a day that I complete this side quest of subjectivity, but until that time, I'm going in all guns blazing like I just popped some gaming Viagra and I snorted a line of Brown Brown. If you're new or haphazardly stumble across my channel, I would greatly appreciate a subscription, like, or comment because these scripts don't write themselves. Now, let's carry the torch like a true Olympian and sprint toward 5 victorious selections. I don't know what it is about hacking and slashing that I don't find as compelling as, say, my God of War days, so I try as I might to find uniqueness when I embark on yet another selection in this genre. This game is a pretty popular installment in the 2D realm of fighting, so I had to see why. Released in November of 2023, developed and published by the Behemoth, I immediately took to the art style in a favorable manner. Tons of character options and weapons grace the battlefield, and adjustments to strength, agility, magic, and defense give me somewhat of a hack and slash chubby. Also, the fact that this game is definitely considered uncommon physically is an attraction in itself. So when you're done crashing weddings, this might be the follow-up you're looking for. Let's slay us a review. Bring on the hordes, and that's H-O-R-D-E-S for those of you with hearing impairment. Right out of the drawbridge, I'd like to say that this is a game best played with more than one person, hence the name Crashers and not Crasher. But if you have business to stand on and decide to bludgeon your way through as a medieval hermit, you'll definitely encounter frustration. Now, being the solo player I am, minus Chewy, I had a first-hand account of how punishing this game could be, and I had to dock it in points for that annoyance during my runs, but despite my finger dexterity handicaps, I was up to the challenge of progression, mostly because it's so damn fun. I really can't gripe too much because the resolution and frames per second were raised to 1080p and 60 FPS from the original Xbox 360 version, as well as the DLC that included characters and animal orbs. I'm not a reviewer that hands out 8s and 9s like a condom dispenser in a restroom, so I'm going to give it a modest score of 7.5 out of 10, and hope you all have more friends than I do to vanquish this game. I'm going to highlight this game as a complete surprise in my gem-finding journey. Released February 28th of 2023, this 3D platformer was developed by Dinosaur Bytes Studio and published by Numskull Games. Although the protagonists bear a striking resemblance to Brer Rabbit and Curious George, the gameplay feels fresh and cites many of my gaming or movie interests over the years. The title is perfectly whimsical and addictive to complete all of the objectives. I honestly lost track of time on numerous occasions, and boredom never surpassed the will to keep searching. It's not a technically perfect game, but it manages to be unique and nostalgic in every way I didn't expect. Let's advance the progression of space and time with a review. I don't want to be your monkey wrench, but this monkey wants to be your wrench and partner up as a tool to conquer 11 time zones of surprising versatility. Thinking I was going to have to punch this tar baby in the mouth and throw it in my for sale pile, I reluctantly started a save file and took my Brer Rabbit descendant out for exploration. The N64 nods immediately surface, and you quickly realize it's a collect-a-thon title, but for me, it just hit differently than Mario 64 or Banjo-Kazooie. I honestly had a better time here despite the glitching or lack of graphical prowess it offers. I took time to stop and just take in all of the minute details, and when I did that, it felt well constructed and brilliant, incorporating Easter eggs, good level design, and nods to old school media. There is no doubt, however, that it needs some refinement and a good polish. I would love to see the game remastered on a future system with the detail it deserves. It takes around 9 hours to complete, but I honestly savored every moment, kind of like a Cadbury egg I shouldn't have eaten during Easter. For a largely independently developed title, I'm impressed, and I'm going to give this a very subjective score of 8 out of 10, but do be mindful, it needs work. Developed by Chuhai Labs and published by Thunderful, we have a fitting name to a game that forces you to hone in your side-scrolling golfing expertise with a fun new way to do it. Released November of 2023, this limited-run title, that should be renamed Golf Souls, due to its difficulty and ghost-like player you control, was produced according to how many pre-orders it had, so there's not a definite number for its production. It tends to be somewhat rare, however. It's hard to describe this game other than a golfing roguelike. You'll have 70-plus holes to complete, similar to some people's body count goals, and 20 unique ace card power-ups to assist with progressing levels. I found the addiction to be moderately present, so I was roped in to sharpen my drives and wedging. Now, let's see how this curse unfolds with a review. It's always been an innate fear of mine that I may get struck by lightning while I'm golfing, so when I saw my pixelated all-star suffer the same fate, I vowed to never play in a thunderstorm again, unless that is if it's indoors only. Sports titles may just be the most passed-over style of games in my collection, so when I tackle one of them, I want more than the typical display of rinse and repeat. I can gladly say that this title exceeded those expectations. To my pleasant surprise, strategy is a must, and you have to utilize it constantly. Instead of yelling 4, I was yelling 4.25836 because I had to calculate far ahead of hitting that ball. The incorporation of changing the ball's path mid-flight, splitting one into 3, or turning the ball into a proximity bomb while aiming for stacks of TNT solidified the fact that this game adds depth and challenge to the sport. If you're up for a maddening descent into golf purgatory and a reminder of the John Mellencamp song Hurts So Good, this may be a great pickup for all of you masochists out there. 7.5 out of 10. For those of you who will eat anything that swims, I got a sea whopper prepared that is literally oozing with metabolic boosting and muscle synthesizing omega-3 support, and a diver who doesn't seem to be eating his own produce. Slap a wetsuit on a Jack Black doppelganger and open a sushi restaurant on the edge of a blue hole and you have Dave the Diver. In this single-player adventure RPG, you embark into the water to collect marine life and complete objectives that may just change the understanding of aquatic biology as we know it. Released physically on June 28th of 2024, we have a game developed and published by Mint Rocket. Pulling inspiration from the game Dredge and actually offering you DLC from that world, I gladly accepted the daily dose of nitrogen narcosis as I surfaced to run my sushi bar from day to day. Now, let's get this dive bar upgraded to glory with a review. The name of this game is Time Management. As great as it is to just explore your lard bucket off, you'll always have that sense of urgency ticking away with depletion of your O2 gauge. It's imperative that you stick to the missions because you'll want that bling to upgrade and dive deeper into the depths. Sometimes you'll also need some protection from fishy situations, so don't forget your underwater arsenal. Some fish can't just be speared and served. Along with gaining fans for your restaurant on your phone app like some damn Jon Favreau movie, you have to consider upgrades to your restaurant, also including decor, varieties in foods, or the seasonings you'll use to gain likes and recommendations. I could go on and on about this game's addictive nature, but I think I've said enough for now, and I'll let you percolate on my score of 8 out of 10. And hopefully it will persuade you to add it into your library. You want a dick, Tiv? I'll give you a dick, Tiv, with this cheeky deck-building roguelike. It's like Balatro and Slay the Spire got busy in the back of a Studebaker, and I'm not judging, only I am. Released September 22nd of 2022 by Super Rare Games and limited to 5,000 copies. It was developed and published by Terry Kavanagh and gives you 6 playstyle dice who all have unique abilities, including 6 different episodes for each one. This is truly an achievement for indie gaming and so well produced to include multiple technical paths to victory. For a truly game-breaking experience, I suggest playing only one type of player for an extended amount of time to discover the possibilities. It will make you feel like an expert, but will still challenge you all the way to the end. That said, if you make it to the end, you'll be considered in a higher echelon of gamers. So let's get this privileged review underway. I like to say that finding truths require mechanisms that lead to a provable conclusion, and it follows that games can be broken once you find these internal mechanisms. Dicey Dungeons is a mechanism-focused game, and hard to get frustrated with because it's just so cotton-pickin' cute. My usage of profanity while playing was significantly lower, and since I tend not to cuss at cute adorable puppies or Ana de Armas, that made sense here. Just like in Evolution, you'll find yourself adapting to survive, and it's survival of the fittest in each episode. Progress carryover is non-existent, so it's like popping in a shiny new quarter with every new run, but I rather enjoyed starting fresh like the Mountain Dew. It was extremely hard to put this one down so I could actually complete the review, but here we are and here I go, giving it an 8.5 out of 10 and a slap on the ass saying job well done. Ending Volume 3, and I'm already feeling a little neurotic with the lack of views or subscriptions, so won't you do me proud with a slight upward tick in my analytics? And as dirty as that sounds, I promise it'll make me work so much harder to release these videos in a timely manner. I have stacks more to show you, so let's get it on in true John McCarthy fashion and knock these out over some tea and crumpets. Cheers!